Evening. Um, this will be my last one before Christmas Day. 1 week left until Christmas Day, and I'm not going to do one of these reflections. We're not going to have one on our Facebook next Friday, but we will have a Christmas morning get together at 10 a.m. So we'd love to see you there. You know, I was in the Mustard Seed today, helping this, which is a coffee shop on Front Street, and I was helping just to organise the lunches that we're delivering on Sunday. And I found myself while I was waiting for some information to be passed on, I found myself looking at this beautiful mechanical decoration, a Christmas carousel that was going around. And I mean, I was really looking at it, you know, where you start to stare in, and I found myself just imagining the characters. There was a tiger and there was a boy on a horse, and looking at the colors. And I was for a moment just in wonder, and I was away from, you know, the mustard seed and picturing a scene that suddenly had snow and people and was alive. Just for a moment lost in the decoration. Have you ever really stared at something in wonder? Really imagined and looked into it? I mean, there's a lot of wonder at Christmas, isn't there? There's a lot, at least there was when we were kids. There was a lot of wonder and awe and mystery. You know, the TV, it's slightly more magical because there's, I don't know, some snowflakes during the adverts and some sleigh bells. The lights on the street posts and the lamps, they're really enticing, just brightening up what is normally a common scene for you. Suddenly it's slightly different, slightly more magical. You know, and then there's a Christmas tree, isn't there? On Beddington Front Street, we've got a cracking Christmas tree this year, a massive one. Something so magical about the decorations and the colour and the light. When I was very, very young, I was about 5, I think, we were given a present as a family. We were given an artificial tree from our local butcher. I think my parents got on well with him, and he gave us this tree. I think it was about 4 foot high. It wasn't particularly big, but when I was 5 or 6, I just remember thinking it was massive. And my mum, it was her job to decorate the tree with me. And I remember the decorations so well. I remember that we had, particularly the ones I liked, were these teardrop baubles. They were purple, like a deep sort of rolling purple. Their colour was so deep and dark, actually. And I used to look out for them because my mum, she would bring down the box of decorations. Now, we didn't have a theme. We didn't have lots of decorations. We just had these individual decorations that we'd collected over the years. And she would get out this cardboard box, and inside, all of our decorations were individually wrapped in newspaper. And I used to go through with her, unwrapping these decorations, particularly looking for the purple baubles. And once up in the tree, I can remember for a time staring at these baubles, just in wonder at the colours, the way it almost moves, and the reflections of the lights that were seen in them. You know, imagination, a sense of wonder, a sense of mystery. I believe that they are fundamental to our lives, not just fundamental to a childhood, to a brilliant childhood, but fundamentally, I think there is something important to this sense that we get. And it's no surprise that parents, they try to recreate this magic and this wonder and this mystery over and over again for their children. You know, when I met Jo, her family quickly, almost immediately, I think, set me up as their family's Father Christmas, Santa Claus. You know, Jo's grandma, she just did magical Christmases. She was, you know, Jo's family are really good at Christmas. And she would set up this Christmas Eve party where she had set up like a grotto room, usually a room in her house, or actually she built some things outside in the garden at times as well. You know, snow machines, big life-size reindeer statues, antique, you know, Jo's grandma was an antique dealer, and she had amazing antique decorations that she was set up, and the house was just like, you know, the Christmas house. And they had me dressed up as Father Christmas, bringing what was usually really good presents for the kids of the family. One year they had me stuck up in the loft, you know, knocking that Father Christmas couldn't get out this year. One year she had built this fake chimney on the front of the fireplace, which I came down. Another year I was dragged down the road by a horse. I was on a sleigh, a horse dressed as a reindeer. Actually, I think it was Uncle Pete that was dragged down as Father Christmas by a horse dressed as a reindeer. I think actually I was dragged down the street on a sleigh, dragged by Uncle Pete himself, and he was dressed as a reindeer. You know, I'm saying all of these things. I'm reminiscing a bit with you here because I believe that God actually made us, actually created us, that we're actually wired to spend time in awe and wonder and imagination and investigation and in dreaming. I believe it's something really important that we often lose at some point during our lives. You see, when you see a big view and you stand on a hilltop and you see a view of creation, it sparks this sense in you that I'm talking about. When you zero in on an intricate or antique decoration, like I've been telling you about the mustard seed today, it sparks some of this sense that I'm talking about, because it starts to connect you to something bigger, to a story, to a big picture, to something that is more like cosmic. We get bogged down in Christmas and in any time really, but more than ever in Christmas, in the speed, in the programming, in the spending of money and resources and time, in the family politics, in the food. We get bogged down more than ever at Christmas. And I want to encourage you today. This is what I want to encourage you. I want to leave you with this encouragement. There is just 1 week of waiting left, waiting for Jesus, waiting in this Advent period, 1 week left for the coming of Christ. The time when God fully revealed what he's like. The time when so many people had pondered and we had glimpses and they had lived with this imagination. And then we find in a week's time, what is God really like when he reveals his true self to us? So as we take time to count down to Christmas, during this Advent waiting period, ponder for a moment. Look at something deeply. Spend time imagining things. Look at some pictures, look at some decorations, get out into nature, whatever it is. I want to encourage you to deeply, deeply, deeply look, imagine, and wonder. I read on someone's Instagram this week something very simple where he said, no one ever stood under the northern lights and said, wow, I'm incredible. No one ever stood under the northern lights and said to themselves, wow, aren't I incredible? No. We were made to connect to the big picture of life. We were made to know there is something bigger, there is something greater. We were made to be inspired. We were made just to connect in with that. So as we wait for Jesus this week, as we wait for his illuminating light to shine upon us, come with me. Join in the spirit of Christmas, in fact. In the spirit of Christ. And wonder. Let's have a very Merry Christmas if I don't see you again before next Friday. I pray that God blesses you tremendously during this season. And however you feel, Jesus came, Emmanuel, to be with us. He is God with us today. You are not alone. And if you find nothing else to wonder about, if you can't think of anything else in your life that would cause that kind of inspiration, I encourage you to seek the face of Jesus. God bless you.